As I reach for a peek, slide around down behind the sofa in San Tropez. Breaking a stick with a brick on the sand, riding a wave in the wake of an old sedan. There we go, there we go. I made it, kind of singing that song. Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Guitar with Gavin. I am redoing this video in case you saw me post it on Saturday. And it's San Tropez by Pink Floyd, came out in 1971 off of their album Metal. And you know, I make a lot of crappy content, but even crap has standards, and I wanted to redo it. I just thought the lighting was bad in that room, the sound was bad in that room, so we're trying again here. Okay, we're trying again, and hopefully in another room, I've turned on like every single light in the house, and I'm hoping, or not house, apartment, and I'm hoping this comes out better. So yeah, if you tuning back in, welcome back, I guess. I don't know why you watched it again, but welcome back. But yeah, so we were looking at San Tropez by Pink Floyd. I love this song. It's just kind of like this really, like, totally not a Pink Floyd song, and the mix of like this album that definitely hits like all of your boxes for what a Pink Floyd album is going to sound like, and then you just have this like jazzy love tune in there, and I love it. I really do. I love this song. It's great. I love the chords. So yeah, let's jump on into this. There are going to be 4 parts: our intro, part 1, part 2, and then our little outro section. So let's just jump on in. We are going to start off on a D7 chord for 2 measures. That's it. D7, 2 measures, and you're done. I'm hoping you can hear this. I'm gonna turn up a little bit, maybe. That should work, hopefully. I don't know. I really don't test anything. Anyways, so now we get to part 1. So what is part 1? Part 1 is the chord progression that you will use for verse 1 and verse 3. And it's just a subtle difference between the verse chords that you're playing in verse 2. But so yeah, this is your first verse and third verse chords. So we're gonna start off on a G major 7. So I'm gonna go 3rd fret of our low E, that's our root note. Then we get the major 7 on the 4th fret of the D. We get our major 3rd on the 4th fret of the G, and we get our 5th on the 3rd fret of the B string. G major 7, I love major 7 chords, they're just so pretty. And then, so that G major 7, we're gonna play for 3 measures. Just now we go to another chord, and maybe this is a new chord for a lot of people. It was for me when I learned this song. We're gonna go to a G minor 6. So I'm gonna say the numbers, and then I'll tell you what each one is. So we're gonna go. I'm going middle finger 3rd fret of our low E. Pointer finger 2nd fret of the D, and then ring finger 3rd fret of the G, pinky 3rd fret of our B. And what it is low E is our root note. We have the 6th on the D string, then we have the minor 3rd on our G, and then we have the 5th on that B string. So that is how we get G minor 6. And then so that G minor 6 we're gonna do for 2 measures. So we go G major 7 for 3, G minor 6 for 2. After that, we're gonna go back to a G major 7, and this time we're gonna play it for 4 measures. So just then we go back to that G minor 6 for 2 measures. All right, pretty simple. It's just a little bit of number changes in there. G major 7 for 3, G minor 6 for 2, G major 7 for 4, G minor 6 for 2. Now we're gonna go to a G7 for 2 measures, A7 for 2 measures, C7 for 2 measures, D7 for 2 measures. And you come, and if you're alone, I'll come home. There you go, that's part 1. Right, so G major 7 for 3, G minor 6 for 2, G major 7 for 4, G minor 6 for 2, G7 for 2, A7 for 2, C7 for 2, D7 for 2. Now on to part 2. So part 2 is what you will play for verse 2 and our first little instrumental break, that guitar solo that they do. So it is literally the exact same chords and almost like the exact same structure. It's just we're playing that G major 7 for different measure amounts, right? So G major 7 for 2 measures. G minor 6 for 2 measures. G major 7 for 2 measures. G minor 6 for 2 measures. And now we go back to that same little outro after that. So G7 for 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. A7 for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. C7 for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. D7 for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. And so now just to talk about this quick little instrumental guitar. No, we'll say the instrumentals for the end. Okay, well, let's jump into. That was all part 2, right? We'll hurry and just talk about it one last time. So G major 7 for 2 measures, G minor 6 for 2 measures, G major 7 for 2 measures, G minor 6 for 2 measures, G7 for 2 measures, A7 for 2 measures, C7 for 2 measures, and then a D7 for 2 measures. I tried switching my fingers up every time to keep you on your toes. I wasn't every time. I only have so many fingers. I guess clearer than that, I don't know. Anyways, so now let's jump on into our outro, which the outro is very similar to part 2. It's just we're kind of duplicating a part of it. So it's G major 7 for 2 measures, G minor 6 for 2 measures. And those 4 bars you will do 4 times. And then you jump into the ending G7 for 2, A7 for 2, C7 for 2, D7 for 2. Right? That's it. That's the entire thing. That's the entire song. So what you would end up doing is you would go outro, then you would go part 1, then you go part 2, then you do part 2 again because there's the break, then you would do part 1 for verse 3, and then you do the outro. And the outro happens twice as the piano's taking a solo. So let's talk about a little bit of the instrumentals on that break in verse 3. So one of the things that they're playing it with the slide, so I'm gonna do my best to try and replicate it, but over the G major 7, they're doing this like a little, it's hard because it's a slide, right? So I'm doing this as a double stop. And I'm going to the 12th fret on the D and B string, and then I'm just gonna slide it down to the 8th of the D, no, sorry, 9th of the D and 8th of the B string. And that happens, you do one slide over each measure of the G major 7 chord. So then you get to this G minor 6 chord, and what I'm hearing, but it's not totally correct, but what I'm hearing is this 11 on the D and B. And like, I don't know if it's perfect, but that's what I'm hearing in my double stop. Is just as close as I'm getting. And then I slide it down to the 5th of the D and the 5th of the B. And I know that one is definitely not like correct, but it's like as close as I'm, like I said, as close as I'm getting. So, and then they go back and just kind of do that 11 again on the next G minor 6 chord. And then they get into this G7 to A7 to C7 to D7. And what I try and do over that part, really, I mean, this is just kind of a G major jazz tune, right? And so I'm just trying to follow the chords. I'm trying to follow the important notes to hit here. So what are some of those important notes? Well, over our G7, the 7th is important, and the major 3rd. Those are the notes that tell us the most about the chord, so try and hit that. A7, once again the 7th, but what's interesting about this A is it is a major chord, so if you can hit that 3rd, that also can be really, really cool sounding. And then C7, you know, similar thing, I'm just going for the 3rd and 7, and then D, the 3rd and the 7. And I'm just using like a G major pentatonic to try and get there and just piece together these chords, you know. And then so what I also want to talk about is when we get to the last section of the 3rd verse, and there's little guitar licks going on in the background. And I don't think I really have enough room on here. I guess maybe I could figure this out a little bit. They're doing little double stops into the chord that's being played, but they started off a couple frets above, but you can start it anywhere from 2 frets above, 3 frets above, 4 frets above. It just depends on how you want to do this. But what you want to do is end up getting to the double stop that makes up the chord. And so to do this on like my acoustic guitar, they don't start doing it until I believe the A chord. And so like what we have is our A chord is going to be on the 9th fret of our G and high E string. And so like I said, you can start off 2 frets above. You can start off 3 frets above. You can start off 4. It doesn't matter as long as you get back to that A, right? So now our C is going to be on the 12th fret of the G and the 12th fret of the high E. And it's the same thing. You can start off 3 frets, 2 frets, 4 frets, and then a whole step above that to the 14th fret is where the D is. And once again, same thing, 2 frets above, 3 frets above, 4 frets above. It's that same pattern, and you're just half stepping it down to get to that 14th fret, right? And yeah, that's San Tropez by Pink Floyd, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this remake, and hopefully this came out a lot better. Hopefully you can like see things better and hear things better. If you didn't watch that first one, then just think that, wow, he did a great job. Because you might be the only one thinking that. Yeah, that's cool. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I plan on getting some more videos out here soon. I'm gonna try and maybe do some like Christmas songs, just because, you know, that's approaching, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, requests, personal anecdotes, stories you want to tell, thoughts, any shower thoughts, any stoner thoughts. Let me know down below, and if not, happy jamming.